Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast with Fiji. And now, this morning you're probably going to the hospital or thinking about going to the hospital for the medical checkup. One of the things that we kind of afraid of is getting the results if it may be a bad result or something that's very, very, very serious. The other thing is finding out that you're real sick and then you need to get treatment overseas. Now that just adds on to the pressure. Now there's an organization in Fiji that's helped over 100 patients who've traveled to India, and that's Medivisor Health, who specialize in transferring or helping those who need this medical help. To tell us more about this help that is given by this organization, I have with us in studio the Director for Medivisor Health, Kumar Sushant. Welcome to Breakfast with Fiji.
Thank you.
Perhaps just tell us about your organization and what you do.
So at Medivisor Health, we have been doing a lot of things, but primarily if you see for Fiji market, we have been helping patients with medical treatment in India.
Right.
And as soon as the case comes to us, it becomes our responsibility. And right from visa to airline ticket clearance and the patient handling in India is what we have been doing. We have been in this market for last 4 years and have helped about 500 patients with their medical treatment in India.
Okay. Now, with people not knowing your organization, what you do, they tend to have their own fundraising activities. But in terms of having that money used well, I mean, you need an audit to have this done. Your organization will be having this done as well, like assist those in terms of fundraising.
Yeah, so far we have not been helping people with fundraising, but going forward, because there are a lot of cases coming to us who need some financial support as well.
Right.
And for them, we are going to form a network, and also we are looking at registering an NGO that will be helping them with financial support as well.
Okay.
So that we are going to do very soon.
Now, you were mentioning to me before we came on the set was the fact that to have fundraisers, there's a lot of money involved, but it needs to be audited. For example, like somebody can be given $50,000 through donations. Right. They'll go for treatment, come back, and there may be a balance of $20,000, which could go to another person who needs that money. Would you be able to give out that service in terms of assistance?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so till now, as I said, we have been only assisting people with their medical treatment in India, but going forward, we also want to come with an audit service. So say, for example, we are seeing a lot of fundraising happening at the moment for treatment in India, and we can see a lot of quotations on Facebook page and people donating, I mean, out of emotion.
Right.
But the thing is that how do we make sure, because there are hundreds of cases on Facebook, I mean, asking for donation and help. So how do we make sure that, okay, all those quotations and the reports that we see on Facebook page, they are genuine? I mean, genuine in terms of that, yes, they do not have financial strength to support the case, and of course, and also the quotation. So can that treatment happen at a low cost or not? So first thing is that we audit patient in terms of financial strength, and second, quotation, like, you know, whether that quotation is genuine, whether it is inflated quotation or the quotation is actual quotation.
I see.
That we want to do. And the third important thing is that once they have come to India, because we have seen a lot of cases where fundraising have happened, but actually those cases have not traveled to India for treatment.
I see.
So what we need to do is we need to ensure that, you know, whatever the fund is raised, there's a proper accounting happening. And for that, we are going to come up with another service, which is like expense audit. So once people have traveled to India, we are going to audit the entire treatment expense, hotel expense, their food expense, travel expense, so that at the end, we know what is the actual treatment that has gone into the treatment.
I see.
Cost that has gone into treatment.
And also, by providing the service, you're taking away the task of having to keep tally of everything and make sure that there's good accommodation, there's food, there's travel expenses. That's all covered under that particular fundraiser. But another thing that you're doing as well is with Fiji being one of the countries with a high number or high volume of people with kidney disease, you do offer services for those who need kidney transplant. But you're saying like there's no guarantee that if you are a kidney patient and you're going to India for that transplant, you may not find that kidney. Tell us more about
absolutely.
this.
I mean, because on an average right now we are doing 1 kidney transplant every month from Fiji. If you see, I mean, after heart disease, I think kidney disease is the most prevalent disease in Fiji, and cancer, of course, is there. But there are a lot of misconceptions with respect to kidneys and kidney transplant in India.
Right.
Now, when we get calls from people here from Fiji, I mean, they ask the first question they ask is that how much kidney transplant would cost, and then the second question is that is kidney included in that? No, kidney is not included, because it's not what we hear in Fiji that kidney are being sold in India. It doesn't happen that way. The organ and transplant law is very, very strict in India.
Okay.
So if you are under a assumption that you'll get kidney in India, no, you are wrong. It doesn't happen.
Say, for example, if we're like best friends, right?
Yeah.
I have a kidney problem. We go to India and I say, hey, this is my friend. He wants to give his kidney up for me. Can that happen?
No, absolutely not. Also, that cannot happen because, as I said, the organ law is very, very strict in India. So you'll have to prove a relationship. So it's not that you have taken anyone from Fiji and come to India and say that, okay, look, he's the donor, he'll donate kidney to us. It's not going to happen that way. You'll have to prove relationship, and that relationship has to be a blood, a relationship, and you'll have to prove it. So you'll have to show evidence, documents to show that. So there's a committee that happens. Generally, with other cases, if you're coming for heart bypass, we just admit you and do the heart bypass surgery, or cancer treatment, we just start that. But with the organ transplant, you have to go through a committee.
Okay.
So it's not just the clinical thing that we see, the donor fitness and the patient condition, but also we have to see the legal aspect of that.
I see.
So we go through a committee, and this third committee is a third-party committee. So it's not a hospital that sees the case. And there, in front of the committee, we'll have to prove that this organ donation is happening out of love. So they basically check that whether there's any money involved, or it's just happening out of love. And for that, you'll have to show a relationship proof.
This is very good conversation that we're having this morning, Mr. Sushant, because the fact that disease does not discriminate, it affects everybody in life. One of the things that people are thinking about as well in terms of like getting that transplant or maybe that trip to India is costs. Now, you may have a Facebook page that has different costs for different things. That probably just gives a fair idea of how much you're spending. Now, for example, if it's like $20,000, does that include airfare, accommodation, food, transportation to and from the hotel, the person that's going along with the patient and so forth? What does it include?
So when we give quotation, it includes everything. So say, for example, heart bypass surgery. Now, heart bypass surgery in any good hospital would cost you about $5,000 US. So with us also it is $5,000 US, but the facilities, there are a lot of facilities people get when they come through us.
Right.
Like, for example, at $5,000, we are getting the surgery done in a single private room. So they get 6 to 7 days, they get to stay in hospital, and even their attendants can stay in the hospital. They get all their meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner. And with that, we are also giving complimentary stay, 2-week stay in the hotel.
Ah, lovely.
Right, so it's all included in $5,000 US. Initially, it was just $5,000 for the surgery, but now it is, you have also hotel included in that.
Okay.
Likewise, if you see kidney transplant, again, in any good hospital, if you see kidney transplant costs about $13,000 US. So everything is included in that, in the kidney transplant. And so when we give quotation, everything is very, very clearly defined that how much it will cost for what.
Right. You've assisted over 500 patients who've traveled to India for transport for medical care. And one question that people generally ask is, why India? We obviously know that Australia and New Zealand are quite high in terms of medical care, but why is it cheap to go to, or affordable to go to India?
Yeah, so there are a couple of reasons why India. One is that, there are many people willing to travel to India because they want to see India. Especially if you see Fijian Indian, they prefer to travel to India. Second, in terms of cost, if you see, India is a very, very competitive and cost-friendly country. The bypass surgery, what you get in New Zealand for about $35,000 or $40,000 US, you can get that simply done at $5,000 US in India.
Okay.
And now that does not mean that there's any compromise with the quality. Quality is still the same.
Yeah.
Yes, why the cost is low? Because of the volume that we are doing. So you see the India with the country population of 1.32 billion. So of course per unit cost goes down, and that's the cost advantage people get.
That's great news. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us in terms of the assistance that the Medivisor Health organization offers to us? Yeah,
so we offer end-to-end assistance. So as soon as you get to know that you have to travel to India for treatment, there's you should do not worry, just come to us. We have got office in President Plaza, Samambula,
Right.
and we'll help you out with everything in terms of your visa, your airline ticket clearance, and as soon as you land at Delhi airport, you become our responsibility. And taking you to the hotel, taking you to the hospital, getting consultation done, getting investigation, admission, discharge, all those things. And even if you want to go for sightseeing and shopping, we are very happy. We'll be very happy to take you for that. So any problem, I mean, with respect to if you want to get treated in India, there's no need to worry. I mean, we are there to take care of that.
Mr. Sushant, I'm sure that families at home are at ease now that there's a service like this available to them.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Stay with us. There's more to follow after this on Breakfast.